course. Once again, trying to pull up the stream and I disconnect because that's just how this absolute dog water of a game works. And there we go, finally. Okay. All right, and we are into the race. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the penultimate round of Division 2 here in the streets of Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I am your host, the American voice of RSF1, Days Freak, alongside my co-commentator, Jedi Gamer. He is currently left for the moment. He will be back shortly. Seems like the first man out of the garage is going to be the Red Bull of Crazy Fish, even though I can't see the car. There we go. Got the stream pulled up on my phone now. And Crazy Fish seems to have overshot the corner already. Probably not a good sign. If this is how soon you're overshooting a corner in qualifying. Next man out of the pits is the Williams of Jangus Logan, followed by Cornish and Locker. Got two more cars coming out. One of them an Alfa Romeo being Mega Centurion. The other AlphaTauri of Grunty, one of our two championship protagonists last race. Stygian secured at least, worst case scenario, P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Grunty's going to have to outscore Stygian by 39 points over the next two races. And today we have a sprint race, which could make it a bit easier for the AlphaTauri driver. But we're going to have to find out on whether or not he's going to be able to do what he needs to do to get the championship back in his grasp. As we move back to the Red Bull of Crazy Fish as he's coming through the final sector now, through the high-speed left-right sort of chicane. Opens up the DRS. Heading to the line, and he'll start his hot lap. We're right on board with the Red Bull of Crazy Fish. Top speed of about 215 miles an hour as he shifts down to second gear for turn 1. Third gear on exit. Heading down to turn 2. Second gear once again, third on the exit. Opens the DRS for the second time. First time on the lap, technically speaking. Heading into turn 3, top speed down the backstretch, about 206 miles an hour. He's third gear through there. First gear for a moment through turn 4, up to third almost immediately. After the first sector, it's a 35.4 for the Red Bull. Third gear on the exit of turn 6. Now heading into turn 7 before he gets into the castle section, cuts the inside of the corner just a bit, but doesn't invalidate. Keeps it going. Out through the castle section, one of the tightest sections of any track in this game. Makes it through clean, nice and cleanly. As he continues now through the loop. Is what I call this part of the track, the loop. Frankly, I don't know what else to call it. I don't know a real name for it. But through the first two sectors, it's a 116.1. Through the first two sectors, now coming through the final sector. They do. Rides the curbs a little bit for both the left and right part of that high-speed chicane. Opens the DRS one final time. Across the line, it's a 40.4 flat. It puts him provisionally on pole. Next man across the line will be the Williams of Genghis. He didn't go nearly as fast through the first two sectors. It's going to be a 44.2. It's a 40.5 for the AlphaTauri of Cornish. It's a P2 provisionally. We move to Locker. He's coming down the pit main straight. Coming across the line, it's a 41.5 for the Alfa Romeo. Next man on the board. Next man to put a time up on the board is going to be the other Alfa Romeo of Mega Centurion. What can he do across the line? It's a 40.3. It's provisionally pole position. Grunty across the line. It's a 40.5. It's P4 for the AlphaTauri driver. Stidgen, your championship leader, currently across the line. He puts up a 40.2. It's pole position. Pole position for Stidgen, the Flying Dutchman. Macyq, a 40.8. It's P6. Zilbrad across the line. What can he put up here? It's a 1 minute 59 second. Might have been a bit of a warm-up lap for him, as he looks to go again.
Right, sorry about that. I am here.
Greetings, how are you doing?
Yeah, I suppose.
You watched the race yesterday.
Oh boy, did I ever.
It sucked for K-Mag. I was hoping he would have got points.
Yeah.
Even P10 would have been nice for him. And Oz. Instead, Daniel Ricciardo had to happen. I mean, I don't know how most people feel about Daniel Ricciardo, but I know some people like him. And frankly, I don't understand why.
Because he has an absolutely brilliant personality, and he does have driving talent. He's just got a bit of a box of a car that has not been designed for his driving style, which is kind of screwing him over.
I don't know. I find him to be a very unserious type. In the first few years he was in Formula 1, I didn't mind it, but as soon as he left Red Bull, I don't know. I just like, okay, I guess you don't want to fight for podiums or anything.
Well, the cars he was given after Red Bull weren't exactly competitive, really. And he's always been the light-hearted guy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Lighthearted to a point is okay, but he just seems like a guy who doesn't take anything lightly. I mean, you see in interviews, he'll finish like P14, 15, and he still have like this dumb, goofy smile on his face, and it's like, you just gotta, at least for me, you've got to wonder whether he actually takes it seriously or not. Who do we got on board? I think it's just Mr. Oddbot who's going to be putting up a lap here as he comes through the castle section. Got another driver joining, thankfully. We're going to have at least 13 here for tonight. Definitely probably the weakest number of attendance we've had for any race here in Div 2 so far this season. Honestly shocked we haven't had more. I don't know why. I know a lot of people don't like Baku. Personally, I love it.
I wonder if it's the sprint idea.
Could be the sprint, which is why some people didn't attend. Mr. Oddbod coming across the line. He's going to put up a 41.2, and that is going to be pole position. Oh, no, P9. I don't know what I'm thinking. 41.2, P9 for the Haas. And Horizon has been disqualified for facing the wrong direction.
Well, we've got both Alfa Romeos coming out line astern.
Oh, yeah.
Shane still yet to grace the road with his presence.
And Not sure how much time these guys got left. Have to wait for the yellow flags to disappear in Sector 1. It's 8:46. That's how much I saw, just for a brief moment.
Yeah, there we go.
Americans aren't all about winning, but it's definitely baffling when you decide to go from Red Bull to Renault, and then Renault to McLaren. It's just like, okay,
Well,
I mean, you could have stuck with Red Bull. Yeah,
I
you'd
do
have been a
agree
number
with you
2,
on
but at
the
least you'd
Renault
have had,
part.
you know.
The problem with Red Bull or Wanham was the Renault engine. So for him to jump ship to the Renault Works team didn't make a lot of sense to me. But I think the
I
main
thought it
part
was possibly the
he
dumbest move he
foresaw
could have
what
made.
was going to happen. He could see what was going to happen, that they were going to make Verstappen the idol of the team. Which has then led
but
to
I mean, would you
Gasly,
rather
Albon,
be
and Perez
fighting
getting
for...
shafted.
Here's the question. Okay, so, no, I get that, and I understood why he left because of that, but if you're going to leave a team that's at least fighting in the top 5 every race, don't you want to go laterally or upward?
Realistically,
I mean,
yes.
it didn't make sense for
the
me
move to
that
Renault,
you would have gone to a team that barely scores points.
The move to Renault, even with those 2 podiums, frankly, was a mistake. I think the course correct almost was McLaren, because they were on the upward trajectory, but then they're kind of going through a similar philosophy of Red Bull with Verstappen, but with Norris.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been a lose-lose situation.
Across the line, he gets a 140.1. It's pole position provisionally by almost a full tenth of a second. You've got Cornish diving into the pits and hitting the pit wall, almost crashing out. Luckily for him, that is not the case. You've got Jenga Logan coming down the pit straight. DRS open. Across the line, and it is an outlap. I don't understand why it does that to us. Please stop doing this to us, EA. We've got Macy Q. He's improved by almost 4/10 through the first 2 sectors. Opening the DRS now. What can he do coming to the line? It's a 40.4. It's 4th place for the Haas. Sink Diggles has just joined the session, and Grunty across the line puts up P2. It's a 40.188, 13 thousandths of a second off of pole. Mega Centurion has so far improved by almost 4/10 through the first 2 sectors. Across the line, it's pole position. It's a 40.0 as Locker across the line puts up a 41.4. Doesn't improve his position. It does improve his time a little over a 10th. Sink Diggles has joined the session. And Stitchin across the line puts up a 39.8. Wow. Okay. Definitely meaning business. Got Crazy Fish, who might be on an in-lap here. That he is. Move. There's a yellow in Sector 3. It is for the Williams of Jengus Logan. Guessing he spun out of turn. I want to say turn 14.
I find it personally best just not to bother counting corner numbers. If I know the names of them, I'll use them, but numbers, I won't give a damn.
I don't know how many corners here have names, if any.
I don't think they do.
We've got RSF1 Locker coming down the pit straight. He's improved by almost over 2/10, excuse me. everyone coming into the pits now. So they will all be preparing for one final run. So we've got Crazy Fish already coming out of the pits, looking to be the first of the final hot laps for this session. Remember, with the sprint weekend here this week, it'll only be short qualifying, only one 18-minute session for every division. So far, it looks like there's yet to be anyone to come out of the pits. Shane and Diggles have yet to put up a time, and I think they might just be saving their run right at the end. Shane will be the second man out of the pits as Locker has retired from the session, and Shane's got an AlphaTauri who just
somehow,
drove through him, and
I think a Cornish maybe, it's just been able to get through him.
Yeah, it just drove right through him.
I mean, that's one way to get ahead of someone at the pit exit.
Certainly. Technically, you can't penalize him for it either, so.
Nope.
We've got Sink Diggles coming out now. We've got Jengus Logan. Looks like the Haas of Macy Q coming out now. Now Mr. Oddbot will be coming out. Everyone else, we move on to Crazy Fish. Two minutes left in the session. How many more drivers are going to come out and do a final lap? Might not have enough time now for some people. You're going to just have to hope that you can get through this out lap much quicker than normal. Crazy Fish looking even faster now through the first two corners in the straights. Turn 3 down to second gear for the Red Bull. We're immediately upshifting to third. The third out, down to first, immediately up to third out of turn 4 there. Followed by the turn 5, 6 chicane here. Turn 7 down to first gear, cuts the corner a little bit, doesn't invalidate. Still keeping it good. There's a yellow right in front of him. It's for Stygian, I believe. A 1:15.6. He's improved by 3/10 through the first two sectors.
Oh, did Shane lag out?
I think so.
Well, is he on track? No, that's going to be Shane not even going to take a lap.
No, unfortunately not. Out of the final corner opens the DRS, heading to the line. Crazy Fish puts up a 39.867. It's just 13 thousandths of a second ahead of Stygian. Stygian crossing the line just enough time. Zilbrad also crossing the line with just enough time. Shane going to be the only one who can't put up a lap time here. We've got Crazy Fish going drastically slow to get out of everyone's way. Next man to cross the line, who's it going to be? Not Grunty, it's going to be Cornish. He's improved by almost 4/10 through the first two sectors. Opening the DRS now. Heading to the line, it's going to be a 40.2. It's P5 for the AlphaTauri, provisionally speaking. We move on to Sink Diggles coming through turn 19. Now 20. Opens the DRS. Heading to the line, Sink Diggles is going to put up a 41.9. It's not enough for pole, but he does improve his position to P11. We've got Jengus Logan diving into the pits. Macy Q puts up a 40.28. It's P6 for the Haas. Across the line, Mr. Oddbod is going to take P7. It's a 40.3. Grunty across the line. He's going to take pole by over 3.5 tenths of a second. Wow. Grunty means business tonight. Stygian, though, he's still got something to say. What can he say? Coming across the line, what's it going to be for the Flying Dutchman? It's P2. It's not enough for P3. He's 1800ths of a second off with a 39.683. Zilbrad puts up a 40.295. It's P7. Mega Centurion, a 39.887. 200ths of a second off of Crazy Fish. Crazy Fish will be pulling into the pits. That'll be qualifying over. Grunty takes pole position here in the Baku City circuit. So your entire qualifying order from top to bottom: Grunty, Stygian, Crazy Fish, Mega Centurion, RSF1 Cornish, Macy Q, Zilbrad, Mr. Oddbod, Jengus Logan, Locker, Sink Diggles, Shane, Quirky Turtle, Horizon. And to which all I have to say to that is it's been an absolutely immense lap from Grunty, putting up a 39.5 to secure pole. So, what do you expect to see here tonight from these guys?
I hate to be rude to them. I'm expecting several safety cars, frankly.
Well, there's only 14 drivers. I don't know if we're going to have several, but we could certainly have some.
If we don't have one full safety car, I will genuinely be surprised.
Can't argue too much with that.
Obviously, we all know the tight nature of this track. Also very fast with tight corners. And we have a sprint, so a little bit more gloves off.
Let me look at the race direct. Oh. Looks like we'll be starting now. And everyone here will be starting on the mediums except for the McLaren of Horizon starting on the softs. A bit of a risky strategy.
Not a bold call.
Certainly is. He has been talking about having pedal issues. So hopefully we won't have to worry about him perhaps crashing, as we've got a car spun around and it's Cornish on the formation lap here out of turn 2. Definitely not the way you want to start your formation lap. especially with corners being so high up the grid.
Mhm. I think you could just play this smart and just stay in the queue and then just ghost through everyone to get to the grid, rather than try and overtake everyone and potentially risk hitting them.
Certainly.
Because they won't be expecting someone to come by. They will weave in their tires. They don't want to collect him and get sent back to the grid.
I think he's right now, he's just sticking behind Corky Turtle. Fair enough to him.
Excuse me.
And have
Oh,
9
Grunty
laps
spun.
of a sprint. Oh, did he?
Yep.
Oh,
dear.
jeez.
The
Both
pole
of
sitter.
the AlphaTauris having a bit of a rough formation lap.
Yeah.
The good news about the spin is it's going to put a lot more heat into the tires, but you don't want to put too much heat in the tires. You've now got...
Here's something that just depressed me. There's no Astons.
No, there is not. There's a few more teams missing at least one or even both drivers. Mercedes only has one. Ferrari only has one.
Stygian, I was on board with him there. He tried to park his car pointing to the side. He's just gone a bit too far over the line. And Mason Q has followed suit. Grunty is doing what Stygian wanted to do, but does it correctly. He is pointing towards the Williams, but is in the grid slot.
Yeah. It's going to be a huge
If
disappointment.
I could not be
for
looking
Stygian
at
here, as we've
Grunty's
got
mirror.
5 red lights. And his lights out, and away we go here for the sprint race. Only 9 laps around the straight circuit. Stygian getting a much better start than expected, though. Grunty looking out of the back of the AlphaTauri. Looks like he's going to maintain the lead, though, as we head into turn 2 now. He's got a lot of position swapping. Cornish getting past the Alfa Romeo of Mega Centurion. We've got St. Diggles and Locker having swapped spots. Corky Turtle and Shane had swapped spots, but they've swapped back once again.
Gotta say credit where
Back
it's...
to the front, we've got...
please don't
Oh,
tell me.
Jengus has spun.
I was about to
And he's
say...
reset to the track.
I was about to say credit where it's due for a clean start. I don't know if Jengus was tapped by someone there.
I did not see, but I did see that he had lost control out of turn 3. There we go, much better angle through the castle section. Lovely angle. And we are not even done with lap 1, and Grunty's already starting to pull almost a full second on Stygian. Through the high-speed chicane now, and Stygian does have over a second on him. St. Diggles is spun out of turn 16, and he's all the way in the back now.
And Shane has crashed.
Shane has crashed. Oh!
Oh,
He's...
thank goodness for
Okay. I think Horizon didn't realize he was ghosted, and he lost his front wing. That's going to be a virtual safety car. I don't see the full course safety car.
And into the pits
Getting out
comes
of the
Horizon
back of
and
every
Quirky
car
Turtle.
coming out of there. No, there's no full course safety car, so it is a virtual. And we've got another driver who has joined the session.
Oh, I think Diggles just went into the wall there coming out of turn 1. And he's not damaged the wing, though.
No, I don't think he hit the wall very hard. I think he just tapped it a little bit. Definitely brought it to his attention, though. He's certainly going to be far more wary of the walls here. Or maybe not. He almost hit the wall again there. And we have got green flag conditions back out here. Green flag back out here at Baku. The bottom three that pit, we've got Jengis and Horizon on the softs, Corky going on to the mediums. He already started on a set of mediums, so pitting another set is probably going to hurt his chances in the feature race.
Oh, Horizon's got too much on the curb. Oh, what a spin. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I smoked there. I was going to say, Horizon had a brilliant save, or kept out of the wall. Brilliant pirouette, but not quite.
Not quite indeed. Stygian is not within DRS. Neither is Crazy Fish. Cornish is within DRS, though, of Crazy Fish. Mega Centurion's got DRS. ACQ, Zilbrad. Zilbrad trying to make a move on ACQ into turn 3. The McLaren looks like he's got it. Little tight there. Not fully done yet here, though. Turn 4. Still very close. Very tight here between these two. Oh, boy. Oh, a little bit of contact. And it looks like Zilbrad's got the move done on ACQ. Mr. Abad and Locker very close behind them as well. That fighting, though, has dropped Zilbrad and ACQ out of the DRS of Mega Centurion. We've got a yellow. It is for... Yep. We got another yellow, and this time it's for Horizon. Just unfortunate for the McLaren.
Okay.
Back at the front, Grunty's pulled about a second and a half to the man behind. Seems like Stygian is a bit faster than Grunty on the straights. 205 top speed for Grunty, 207 for Stygian. So Stygian's a little bit better on the straights. But that lack of downforce might be hurting Stygian in the middle sector. Cornish once again having DRS and Crazy Fish. I don't think he's going to be close enough, though, for a move. ACQ once again looking to make a move on the McLaren of Zilbrad, but it's just not there. There you got the bottom. Meanwhile, you've got the bottom 4 and...
As Horizon's lost it again.
No, I was watching him just going through the order, and he like stopped and then started going again. So he might have a drastic issue with his pedals. Like, he was going full speed out of turn 16, and then all of a sudden, like, full on the brakes, and I'm...
Would that explain the several spins, then? It's just throttling out of his control.
Very, very possible. Just massively unfortunate for him, because he could have a chance to actually fight for points here tonight, and that alone might actually take him out of it. Gonna ride on board with Cornish, who's right behind Crazy Fish. He could have another chance here to overtake the Red Bull of Crazy Fish. Sink Diggles is getting a 3-second time penalty. Cornish has opened up the DRS. Hitting a top speed of 215 versus 204 for Crazy Fish. Absolutely nuts how much more speed you get.
On the straight.
That he does. Cornish still not able to make a move on the Red Bull, but is keeping Crazy Fish honest. What happened?
Oddball has gone for a move on Locker, but he's absolutely gone way too deep. And Locker really just couldn't go anywhere else.
It's a safety car.
Okay.
It's a full course safety car. Wow.
Oddball went for a lunge on Locker into turn 4. Turn 3. And he just completely went way too quickly. Couldn't stop it in time, hit the wall. Locker really was either hitting him or going into the recovery road, which is obviously he went for the latter option. That's just been unfortunate loss
Yeah.
of time for him.
Yeah, but it is a safety car now, so it could be a good thing. Oh, and he may have just hit the wall at the castle section. He might need to change his wing now. I don't see damage, but I can't imagine he got away with that. Drivers who will be able to actually fight for points now, including Jangus, Quirky Turtle, Sink Diggles. I don't know how Sink Diggles thought it'd be a good idea to switch onto a set of mediums this late, but whatever. And RSF1 Horizon, who's almost a lap down now. And now the question becomes, does anyone at the front pit? Answer is no
I don't
for your
think it's
top
necessary,
two. No
frankly.
for Crazy Fish. Cornish goes into the pits, though. Mega Centurion, Zilbrad stay out. Macy Q stays out. Mr. Oddbot has to pit because he's got no front wing. So you've got your top.
I won't lie, I don't think
top
that was the
six
smartest
now.
of moves from Grunty. Oh, sorry, Cornish, my mistake. He's actually getting a wing change himself.
Ah, there you go. See that? Now it makes
So,
sense.
yeah. Statement rescinded.
Certainly. And of course, Cornish getting of course, Mr. Oddbot also getting a front wing change, and Locker with a front wing change. Jangus Logan's pretty worn out and soft, so I don't know if he's going to be able to hold these guys behind him. Unfortunately for some of the back markers is that this safety car is going to come in with 2 laps to go regardless of the situation, so they're going to have to just push as hard as they like. So Grunty, Stitching, Crazy Fish, Mega Centurion, Zilbrad, and Macy Q all staying out on the mediums. But now Macy Q's got to worry about Cornish and his own teammate on the restart. Oh, and Horizon's just hit the wall. Missing an end plate now. Diggle's watching him. Going through the castle section, still trying to catch up to the leaders. Currently, you've got the top 10 in the safety car queue, but the rest of these guys just trying to find the time to catch back up to them. Zilbrad now coming into the pits. He's going to go on to a new set of softs.
Well, they're going to have to race hard. There's only 2 laps left once the safety car goes in.
Certainly is. No front wing change for Zilbrad, so that is purely based on the softs.
That may have been that. There's a common thing in this game where you tell it to change the wing and it still doesn't.
It could have been. I'd say hopefully they'll fix that in next year's game, but frankly, if they fix it, they're going to break 73 other things.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, you got to remember, this is an EA-made game, so they're going to break something every time they fix something.
Well, it's a Codemasters made and EA funded. Not that it makes much of a difference,
so
but yeah.
anything EA touches is ruined.
Yeah.
Before you even make it.
Yeah.
And safety car is going to be in this lap, making Grunty the effective safety car for this race. The good news is just about everyone is caught up. Even Horizon, who was pretty far back at one point, is now right behind the safety car queue. So we await the leaders to make their decision on when to go.
He's going to want to leave this as late as possible so he doesn't give a toe to pretty much everyone behind him. Down the ridiculously long
just
pit
like
straight.
yesterday. Right on board Cornish, or right on board with Stygian to see when Grunty goes, and Grunty goes now, and Stygian does get caught out a little bit.
Crazy already alongside
It's
him,
about
but
3 wide behind them. As Cornish has got a move done around the outside, and he gets spun! He gets spun out by Macy Q.
as does Quirky, Horizon is out.
And Horizon's out of the race. Quirky is spun around as well. Just like that, now the man to watch is Mr. Oddbot, and the men to watch now are Mr. Oddbot and Locker. I don't believe it, although Cornish has already made his way past Zilbrad already. And he's got Jangus Logan in front of him on very old soft tires. Meanwhile, Grunty once again with a 1.5 second lead nearly already. He's just continuing to pull a gap. Now 1.8 seconds as he's heading into turn 15 already. He's just continuing to pull away. We just saw a car hit the wall. I think it was Mr. Oddbod. Got Locker right on the gearbox of Mr. Oddbod. Locker trying to get some points for his team. Alfa Romeo so far in this division just hasn't had much luck so far this season. From like dip 5.
Zilbrad looking equally close to the back of Cornish.
Across the line, Grunty starting the final lap of this race. We've got about 2 wide, almost 3 wide behind them. Mr. Oddbot trying to go around the outside of Mega Centurion, and he gets the job done. Although Mega Centurion having something to say about it. Sink Diggles has just crashed. What has happened to the Alpine? He's right off the racing. He's right on the racing line. Excuse me.
Don't know if he's been hit or if he just ran wide on the exit of turn 1, but I think he's hit the wall on the exit.
And Cornish around the outside
beautiful.
of
Oh, what
Jangus.
the...
Oh, and they've crashed.
Zilbrad
and Jangus. And
yeah.
Zilbrad goes off the track. I'm not sure what he's done there, but he's just given up P8 for free. Corky without a front wing.
Zilbrad surely got problems or something. Oh yeah, sorry, no, was it Horizon you said had the wheel problem maybe?
It was Horizon with the pedals.
Yeah.
Cornish now right behind Mr. Oddbot and Locker. Ooh, almost losing the rear end on the exit of the castle section.
I don't know what Zilbrad's up to then.
No, I think he was... yeah, I don't know. But it looks like these top 4 of Grunty, Stygian, Crazy Fish, and Mega Centurion made the right call, staying on the mediums. As coming through the final few corners now, Grunty's just going to cruise to the finish line. Stygian P2, Crazy Fish, though, trying to use everything he's got in him to catch the Williams. It's not going to be done.
That's got to be the most frustrating message you could see. One thing he would have wanted was DRS, and it gets enabled as you cross the finish line.
That it does. Mega Centurion and Locker bringing home P4 and 5 after the Grunty, Stygian, Crazy Fish. Mr. Oddbot P6, P7 for Cornish. He probably could have fought for the podium if not for the incident in turn 1 between him and Horizon, and I don't even know who else was involved in that. It was like 4 different cars that were spun around there.
Well, that was a bit of an interesting finish.
Yeah, Locker considered driver of the day. Locker probably having one of the better days he's had so far this season. Excluding his P4 about 2 or 3 weeks ago. P8 is Zilbrad, P9 Macy Q, followed by Corky Turtle, Jengus Logan, Sink Diggles, Horizon, and Shane.
Well, we had an Alfa Romeo podium last week, I believe, if I remember correctly. We've now got them on the second and third row.
Fourth and fifth is definitely going to be an interesting one for
Hopefully
the
they can convert
Alfa
that to some
Romeo
good
team.
points.
And you got to remember, one of these two started back in 10th and finished 5th, so
Yep.
you can imagine Locker's feeling pretty good about that one. Horizon saying in the Twitch chat, yes, my pedals are that dead that I've had to use medium traction control, which is something I don't like. Oof, that's rough. mm. Well, hopefully, Horizon, you can get new pedals or whatever you need. So your starting grid order will be from bottom to top, Poea P15, followed by Shane, Horizon, Sink Diggles, Jengus Logan, Corky Turtle, Macy Q, Zilbrad, Cornish, Mr. Oddbod, Locker, Mega Centurion, Crazy Fish, Stygian, and Grunty. Everyone is starting on the mediums with the exceptions of Jengus, Locker, and Sink Diggles. Definitely an interesting choices for those three. And now we're getting this weird screen. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about that. Hello? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just headset acting a little weird, and so is my game. I'm not sure what I'm looking at the director when I've already backed out of it. Okay, this is confusing and annoying. What is going on? Why? Try to look at the race director one time and this happens? Are you kidding me? This game is so broken. I actually hate it.
What's happened?
I clicked on the race director and now I can't stop looking at the results from the sprint in the weekend and stuff, and it's like I didn't ask for all this. Yeah, this game is just honestly the worst. I mean,
I may have just made the same mistake, actually.
okay, so
Yay!
I can't even like I don't know whether to leave the game or what. I'm yeah, restart the game. That is so frustrating. I do not understand why this game is so poorly made. I don't know how you can possibly make a game this bad. I really don't. I mean, I know how, like, still. You would think EA would at least, at some point or another, attempt to make a game that isn't complete and utter garbage. And instead, they just continue to prove me wrong. I don't know. Thankfully, there's a formation lap, so we should be able to get back in. I would hope. also hate the loading times. It's ridiculous how long it takes. About damn time. Christ.
Right.
Apologies, folks. Just yeah, this game frustrates me to no end. That's why I quit racing in F5. I couldn't continue racing when the game is just so bad. I mean, it doesn't help when certain drivers are also terrible, but if it was just the game being bad or if it was just the drivers, that'd be one thing. But when it's both and it's on a constant 24/7 basis, it's beyond unenjoyable.
I have a friend who's completely given up league racing until the next game.
Oh, look at that. And we missed the whole first 15 seconds of the race as Stygian makes a move on Grunty and he takes the lead. And he could have just taken the championship with that, although he did start on soft, so that could be a good strategy call. It could also have absolutely tanked his race. We're going to find out here. Mega Centurion making the move on Mr. Oddbod. Ditto Zilbrad. Mr. Oddbod just not having a very good start on this race right now. Side by side, someone's gonna have to back out there. And it's Mr. Oddbod who backs out. Macy Q almost runs into the back of his own teammate. While Stygian not really pulling the gap he needs to pull if he wants to make off tires work. Only half a second away from Grunty, and he's, again, not really pulling, really. And we got Macy Q. It's a yellow flag. Macy Q is spun around. And Macy Q's in the back. Locker has somehow gone from 5th to 15th. What has happened to him? That is absolutely depressing to watch. So we've got a four-way fight for P7. What is this? Oh my God, we've wiped the action here going.
What a move
Cengiz
from
on the
Horizon.
inside. Oh!
I'm sorry, that
Wow.
was brilliant. He just gone down the inside of 2, and I think may have gotten a third at the same time.
Ooh. Cornish losing the rear end a little bit on out of the exit of turn 2.
I'm not being
I don't know
biased
what
because
that
I'm a
is.
McLaren fan, but Horizon, hats off to you. That was a brilliant move.
Certainly was. We still got these guys fighting. All of these guys are still fighting for these positions.
Shane gets up to
Fighting
P9
like
on
it
Cornish.
means everything. Sink Diggles and Horizon. Oh, Sink Diggles almost losing the car completely. Gonna give Horizon the run as he's gonna dive on the inside of turn 7. Oh, and he's in the wall!
No.
Oh no, he's in the wall! Oh, you can't be serious. That might have just cost Horizon any shot. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Back in this midfield fight, we've got Cornish and Shane fighting for P8 right now.
Ooh, Diggles.
Oh yeah, Diggles.
He has not
Once
got a lot
again,
of grip on those
his-
tires, has he?
Certainly not in the rear end. I mean, he's lost it about 3 times now. Oh! Cornish and Cengiz both hit each other, and they both without a front wing now. Cengiz just continuing to lose spots as he's trying to pull into the pits. Ditto Cornish. That's gonna give.
Cengiz is going into the wall on the end.
Oh, yep, and he's out. He's crashed out. It's a safety car. This is going to absolutely save Cornish. I don't know how Horizon didn't pit there. If I remember correctly, he did hit the wall pretty substantially, and he
does
is
have an end
missing an
plate
end
missing,
plate.
yeah. Well, that was a golden opportunity. I don't know if it was called just as he was already passing.
This safety car, though, is also going to help Stygian because he started on the softs, and now he can go onto any tire he wants.
So I was right. We were going to get a safety car.
I was expecting it much sooner, honestly, but that much I knew. I mean, when we loaded into this lobby to begin with, we only had 12 people, and we do have 15 now, but now without one, it only means 4 people are going to finish outside the points, and it looks like Cornish might have gotten another bit of wing damage. And he has. He's missing the end plate on his right side. It does look like Stygian is going to pull into the pits, get off of the softs and onto a set of either mediums or hards. Only problem is now he's going to lose a lot of positions. He's going to have to fight tooth and nail for each position. He's going to go on to the hards. Sink Diggles, and Horizon also in the pits, so Stygian, instead of dropping to possibly P13, he's only going to drop to P9. As he only beats out Locker by a couple of car lengths.
And into the pits comes Cornish again.
So yes, even though Jenkins is out of the race, I've only just remembered that Williams has an 85-point lead on AlphaTauri. They can secure the championship, but they're going to have the Constructors' Championship, but they're going to have to hope they don't get outscored by more than 41 points tonight. If they get outscored by more than 41 points tonight, they will lose out on the. They will have to go to the next round, I should say, to clinch the Constructors' Championship. But after the sprint race, I'm pretty sure they should be fine on points. Wait. Oh, good. It didn't do that same thing again. Alright. That's good, because that would have absolutely put me in shambles. I don't know if I'd have even continued commentating if that had happened a second time. Almost everyone is in the safety car queue, the only exception being the AlphaTauri of Cornish. Should be the last lap under the safety car. Grunty outscored Stygian by 1 point in the sprint race, so The championship deficit between the two now is 37 points. If the race finished just like this, that would go from 37 to about 14 points. ACQ having fastest lap, he would be the one to get the point for that, so yeah. And even though Stygian is on brand new medium or hards, the guys in front of him are on only moderately used medium tires, and most of the usage now has been under safety cars, so I can't imagine he's going to be able to go through these guys quite that easily. Do you think these guys are going to hold up Stygian, or do you think they're going to perhaps let him through?
Well, they're fighting for their own place in the championship, plus it is a race, so I don't think they would.
Well, we're just about to find out here as the safety car is coming in now for this lap. Grunty, the effective safety car, followed by Crazy Fish, Mega Centurion, Zilbrad, Mr. Oddbod, Shane, Hoea, Macy Q, Stygian, Locker, Corky Turtle, Sink, Diggles, Horizon. Horizon spun off. Cornish is 13th now. Horizon is 14th. And yes, it is. He's going to have to come in and change it. And Grunty at the front is way off. Doesn't catch out Crazy Fish at all, but they do catch out Mega Centurion a bit. Mr. Oddbod makes it past Shane, and Poeo almost spinning off the track. Locker trying to make the move around the outside of the Mercedes. A little bit of contact. It doesn't look like they're going to go off, though, so that is good news there. Stygian losing a spot on the restart. And we got a yellow.
God.
Oh! A lot of contact. I was riding along with Stygian, and he's got wing damage. I don't know if it was one of the Haas's. I know that much. I just don't know which one.
I think it would have been Macy
And we've
Q.
got a yellow. It's for Horizon. He's crashed in turn 2. And Macy Q has definitely got damage. He's just dropped off like a rock. Might have more damage than others. And Locker's crashed out. What has happened?
Oh.
And it's another safety car.
That was a very, very slow-moving oddball. I don't know if they were actually positioned between each other. So I wonder if they actually hit each other.
Possible as Macy Q gives the position back to Mr. Oddbod.
That may have been an illegal overtake because the game is retarded.
Certainly. Grunt's continuing to maintain his lead.
Stupid, I should say. I don't know if that's an allowed word. I'll apologize for that.
It's a rough start to this race for those 3 drivers of Jangus, Horizon, and Locker. So we've got Locker, Crazy
judging
Fish,
by
Mega
the
Centurion
driver's
all
lounge,
pitting.
I think
Zilbrad's
Locker
also
did
pitting.
have a moment with oddball.
Just about everyone's pitting. Stygian's pitting. We got Sink Diggles, the only one, I think, that's staying out. Him and Quirky Turtle. Everyone else and their grandmother is in the pits. Mr. Oddbod's retired from the session in the pits.
Okay.
And he had a very good chance to score points tonight. I am not sure by that. Stygian's back on softs. It's only lap 7.
Really big
I am
problem,
not
his,
sure the strategy
his
he's trying.
AI is now going to be holding up Macy Q in the pits.
That it will be. We've only got 11 drivers here now, as Mr. Oddbod has just retired from the session in the pits. We don't know why, but I assume we'll find out soon. We've got Sink Diggles and Quirky Turtle staying out. Cornish had stayed out because he had already pitted the lap before onto a set of hards.
I'd rather get the feeling that the stewards are in for a bit of a busy night this week.
Oh, very busy. This is already looking like this
There's
is
a
going to
bit
be
of
a
bickering
rather
going on
long,
in the chats.
long night. We got Sink Diggles, Quirky Turtle, Grunty, Chris Mega Centurion, Zilbrad, Shane, Poea, Cornish, Stygian, and Macy Q as your remaining runners in tonight's race. Looks like we've got a good bit of controversy between the Alfa Romeo of Locker and the Haas of Oddbod. I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't see all of what happened there, but what I have to assume will be the final lap under the safety car. One wonders if there's going to be another safety car after this one. I certainly hope not, but
We've got about 21 laps left, so it's a fairly safe bet.
at the end of this lap, it'll be 18. But
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm not good with maths.
I heard 21. I was like, well, that's a little too many laps here.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm just stupid.
Safety car is in this lap. Sink Diggles will be the effective safety car here on this restart. Sink Diggle's backing up the field real nicely, and it looks like he's already gone. So he's going to give him the field a good bit of a tow here, unless Quirky decides not to take it.
Don't think Quirky's
So we
even
go back
close
to
enough.
green flag racing. Diggle's almost losing the rear end again. He has got no stability in the rear end of that car.
He does not like turn one, I'm noticing.
Certainly not.
He's not full throttling.
Grunty is just flying past them both. He got past them both with no DRS, no slipstream.
Diggles wasn't
Wow.
going full throttle there. He was only in 7th going
No.
down that straight. Oh, something's happened
Oh, we
behind.
got a yellow. Not sure who it's for. Had a handful of drivers lose at least a position or two.
Don't really know what Diggles was doing there, if I'm quite honest.
Okay, and we've got Cornish without a front wing.
Boy.
And that might be why we had yellows.
Because
Oh, and he's tagged the back of Stygian. Stygian keeps it going, though, so I don't think that's going to be a penalty.
come on, guys, calm down. I get there's probably a lot of frustration from other incidents previously and from the double safety car with only 9 laps gone, but just race normally, please.
Oh man, Grunty on the newest set of hards out of everyone here. It looks like he's gonna just start to pull away, as he's already pulled almost a second, now up to a second on St. Diggles. Crazy Fish probably the only other driver in this field who will be able to do anything about that. We've got Grunty with 205 as his max speed down the pit straight, 207 for St. Diggles, so just continuing to prove that he's running a lower or higher downforce setup than others. Not by much, but by enough. As Poea is coming into the pits, she is switching on to an old set of mediums and getting a front wing off. Cornish, the same deal. He's going to switch off of the set of onto a set of old mediums and get a new front wing. Back to the front, Grunty has pulled almost 2 seconds on now Crazy Fish as he's taken P2 from St. Diggles. And outside of the battle for P2 between Crazy Fish, Diggles, and Quirky, the only other battles we really have are P5, Zilbrad, and Mega Centurion. And a three-way fight for P7 between ACQ, Shane, and Stygian. Oh, that's Cornish for you. Love the guy, but he's definitely one of those drivers that makes you wonder. Shane losing a massive amount of time to ACQ. I'm not sure how he's lost already over a second to ACQ in not even half a lap, but well, here you go. Stygian, meanwhile, continuing to hound the back of the Ferrari of Shane.
That's the last thing Diggles will want to be seeing. And Quirky stays behind for this
once
moment.
again, just losing the rear end of the car. He's just punishing those rear tires much more than anyone else.
Well, he's had a good exit out
behind
at
him with DRS.
turn 2 there, and I think Quirky's now on the defensive mode with Zil.
Yeah, he's trying to keep Zilbrad behind. Oea and Cornish back in the pits again, both of them. I'm not sure what's going on. The front wing change for Poea, and Cornish again a front wing change. I don't... what is going on with these two? They have, like, magnets on their cars attracting them to the walls? Of course, it wouldn't make much sense since the walls are made of concrete, but... and I'm just trying to figure out how you're hitting the wall that many times here. Grunty now with about 2.4 seconds between him and Crazy Fish, as my co-commentator has left the party. That is absolutely phenomenal. Hopefully the party is on joinable. Don't think I turned it to invite only, so he should be able to join back soon. You've got St. Diggles. Top speed of the top two, 205. St. Diggles hit 214 at one point. We've got Mega Centurion in the pits now. I don't understand why there's so many people pitting so soon. I don't get it. I mean, some of these guys can make it to the end. As Shane hitting the inside and outside walls at turn 1. I don't know how he's done that, but here we are, and Mega Centurion is onto the soft tires. Genuinely confused strategy call there. I am not sure how you think the softs are gonna Gonna make it unless he's trying to do 2 sets of softs for the end. Hello, you there? Did it kick you out of the game or just the party? Honestly, I wouldn't argue it's EA made game. Honestly, if somebody told me EA created cancer, I wouldn't disagree with that notion. I'd be like, yeah, it actually makes sense, honestly. Grunty across the line now has about 2.8 seconds of a lead to Crazy Fish. Sink Diggle's still catching up to the back of that Red Bull, but I just don't think it's enough for him. Stygian now passing the Haas of Macy Q. Stygian up into P6. Shane now into the pits. I assume it's to get a front wing change. And that it is. These guys used a lot of these guys used up both sets of mediums already, so I don't think they can go on to the sets of mediums, which is why they're either staying out or when they do pit, they're pitting onto softs. Ooh, and Sink Diggles might have just hit the wall in the exit of turn 7. Yeah, from what we can tell, it doesn't look like he's got damage, but with the lower downforce, higher top speed setup that Sink Diggles is running, he might just be going slower through the corners anyway because of that alone. As he's dropped over 1.7 seconds now to Crazy Fish, and to think just a lap ago he was only half a second behind heading into turn 1. Zilbrad is right on the gearbox. Sink Diggles, he can smell what he had for breakfast this morning. He opens up the DRS now. Oh, he backs out of the move. He thought about it, but it wasn't there. Mega Centurion's crashed. It's going to be a safety car. It's got to be. And it is. And there it is. Oh, that's just unfortunate. Brutal way to go out, but this is going to allow Stygian to catch up back to the field. Which is definitely Grunty's worst nightmare right now. He was about 5 seconds back on Quirky, who was about 5 seconds back on Zilbrad. And those Zilbrad and Sink Diggles are about 5 seconds off of Grunty. Shane now pitting onto a set of 6-lap-old hards. Oh, he has. He certainly has. Cornish is coming into the pits now as Poea stays out. And yet again, another wing change for the AlphaTauri of Cornish. He's also on 6-lap-old mediums. I am just absolutely shocked how he doesn't have any clean sets of hards and mediums, and he crosses the white line on the pit exit. It's a 5-second penalty for the AlphaTauri. Certainly not what he wanted to see. Across the pit lane, and it looks like Grunty is going to pit. I am not sure what he's doing here. Crazy Fish doesn't pit. Sink Diggles crashes out pitting. Oh my God, I saw it for about a half a second. but he came in at about 50 to 60 miles an hour faster than you could ever have wanted to, and he just crashed. Wow. Grunty's on a new set of softs, Zilbrad on 6-lap old mediums, Stygian's on brand new mediums, Corky on brand new softs. Less than 10 people are going to finish this race now. I don't know what Sink Diggles was thinking driving into the pit wall into the pits that fast. I don't understand how you could possibly think you were going to gain more time doing that than just taking it nice and simply and easily. But I don't even know. That was something. Now, if you know anything about Baku, you obviously know softs are not going to make it much more than about anything more than 6 laps at Baku is frankly suicide. So trying to go 12 laps on softs is beyond insanity. I don't think Zilbrad will even be able to make it. If those are brand new mediums, he could certainly make it. But on 6-lap old mediums to start off, let's just say he's going to be in a very awkward position. Stygian should make it. Macy Q and Crazy Fish theoretically can make it. They haven't done too many green flag laps on those hards, so they could probably make it. Shane and Cornish can probably make it, but Poea, Corky, Zilbrad, and Grunty are all, without a doubt, going to have to pit again. And all those guys are going to have to hope that when they do have to pit again, that it's either A, a safety car, and B, that they have one final clean set of softs to run on. Safety car, of course, not coming in this lap. It might come in next lap, but that varies on how much everyone is caught up by. Zilbrad, after having done a lap on those mediums, is coming back into the pits, and he looks to be going on to a set of his old set of hards that he was just on. So he's only done the race on one set of mediums and one set of hards. So luckily for him, he has his softs still available. Shane coming into the pits, he's going on to the mediums. He's already done 6 laps on those. And Poea into the pits. Not sure what she's planning on. It looks like a set of hards, 7 laps hards, should be able to make it to the end on those hards. I don't know how good I don't know how much they'll have left in them, but hopefully for her sake, something in them. Cornish, meanwhile, coming down full speed down the pit straight as he's crossing the safety car and the safety car queue. Currently, your safety car restart order looking like this: Crazy Fish, Macy Q, Grunty, Stygian, Corky Turtle, Zilbrad, Shane, Poea, and Cornish. Okay, that's unfortunate. Doesn't seem like the safety car will be coming in this lap either, as Cornish and Poea still way too far behind to make a difference here.
You know what, I really hate technology sometimes.
Same. Right now on the Xbox profile, it tells me that the comms account hasn't been on for the last half hour. Well, that's weird. I'm Pretty sure I'm
Well,
commentating right now, but
yeah,
whatever.
I'm talking to the person using said account.
Yeah. Corky and Shane both in the pits. Corky onto a brand new set of softs. Ditto Shane. I'm not sure the strategy call, but perhaps they know something we don't. We've got Macy Q for a moment leaving a pretty big gap between him and Crazy Fish. Grunty was leaving a pretty big gap between himself and Macy Q. The rest of the field, though, seems to be pretty close together. With the exception of Poea to Zilbrad and Corky to Poea. Ladies and gents, let me know if you can hear me and Jedi.
Me speaking to acknowledge that statement. To see if this actually will work.
And as we finish the second sector, the safety car will be in this lap, making Crazy Fish the effective safety car on this restart. Following him is Macy Q in the Haas, Grunty, Stygian, Zilbrad, Poea, Corky Turtle, Shane, and RSF1 Cornish. Okay, good. They can hear us, so that's good news. Now the question becomes, when does Crazy Fish go? He's got about 25% on the throttle as he's going now. He's going now, and it's green flag back underway here at the Baku City Circuit. Macy Q got caught out by about a light year. Meanwhile, Grunty on the gearbox.
Oh, Macy's gone wide.
Macy Q, and Macy goes way wide. Stygian looking for the move, but he's not going to have it there.
Shane jumps past Poea to P6.
Well, Cornish gets Corky, who goes down to P9. Meanwhile, Grunty is right behind Crazy Fish now. Crazy Fish on moderately used hards. Grunty on pretty new softs. Question becomes, can Grunty get past him? He's got to be able to get past him very quickly here. Looks for the move there for a moment, but backs out. Crazy Fish still maintaining a slim lead over the AlphaTauri of Grunty. Grunty is coming. He's certainly not going to give up on that fight. Grunty going about 5 miles an hour faster
Macy's
through
been
that
really
left
slow
right
coming
chicane.
out of the chicanes there. And Stygian is through before the DRS even there.
Yeah, Grunty did the exact same thing as Stygian there. Shane up to P5 over Zilbrad. With that, Grunty takes the lead.
And Corky's pitting.
Corky in the pits.
Sorry.
Grunty over a 1 second lead now on Crazy Fish. Stygian now on the gearbox of Crazy Fish. How much longer can Crazy Fish hold off Stygian than he did Grunty?
Well, if Stygian can stay at this close range, I really don't think there's much of a fight Crazy Fish can put up.
No, probably not.
Well, that being said,
pretty
Macy
big
Q's not
DRS
far
train
behind
from-
Stygian. And there is a little bit of a train with Shane and Silbrad, so there might be a bit of moves. As Stygian
Oh, he
just
bumps
taps
into the
him.
back of Crazy Fish. It doesn't do anything.
Well, what it does, that puts Macy in a prime position for the DRS.
And Shane
They've
and
all
Silbrad.
closed up right to them.
Poea is also in the DRS. Cornish has only just dropped out of the DRS of Poea.
And Shane
Macy
gets
Q's
past
getting
Macy.
passed by Shane here. Grunty putting up the best lap of the session.
Was DRS even active
DRS
yet?
now enabled.
Ah, right. Yeah,
Cornish in the pits now.
the moment I say it, every time. Oh, Stygian trying to go around the outside at
Stitching
turn
around
2.
the outside. It's not going to be there. It's not going to be there.
The wing is open now.
The question becomes, can Stygian make the move here? It's Crazy Fish, a bit of a defensive line there.
Oh, keep it clean!
Oh, he runs him wide! He runs him wide. Contact. I don't know if Stygian hit the wall. Oh, and
Yeah,
I
it's just
think
been slightly tapped in the rear by
may have
Shane.
bumped into the back of Stygian.
He did, yeah. Don't look like too much damage, though.
Oh,
And Cornish
Cornish
is in
is
the wall.
retired. What has happened? He's
He's
crashed
gone-
into the wall. He's just gone head first into it.
Yep.
And it's another safety car. I believe that's the fourth, maybe fifth safety car in this race. That's going to give Grunty an absolute premium position to pit onto another set of brand spanking new softs. Stygian gets a drive-through.
Oh, that
Oh!
opens things up.
That is going to be catastrophic. That is the worst time he could have gotten a drive-through.
Oh,
Stygian
mate.
could have just won the championship tonight if he'd have just kept it P2, and instead, he's going to drop all the way to P8. And
They've got to wait
this
for Corky
championship
Turtle
just
to
opened
catch up before the safety car can even come in. And he's got to wait for the safety car to come in before he can serve a drive-through, so he's going to have absolutely no time to catch up.
Yeah, none at all. And the good news for Stygian is P8's going to give him 4 points. The bad news is Grunty's pretty much guaranteed to win this race if he just keeps his nose clean. Stygian stays out, though. I'm not sure about this, but I guess it doesn't really matter if you've got a drive-through now.
I mean,
So,
he
yeah,
could have
he's
put, if he's
just
got
gonna
softs,
stay
he could
out.
have put them on. Then once safety car comes in, he could have done the drive-through. No?
Perhaps.
Right, I want to see if I can. Do you know what's really worth noting? There are no other penalties at the moment. You can't exactly
Oh,
get...
yeah, no.
It is extremely difficult to get exceeding track limits, of course. But it is possible.
Yeah, no.
Because if you exceed track limits, you're in the wall. And
Yeah.
it's currently looking maximum points for Grunty because he got the fastest lap as well.
Yeah.
So it's only
26
one
to
car
4,
for
that's
each
gonna
team,
bring it to
but
15 points, which means
yeah.
for Grunty to win the championship, he's going to have to hope for fastest lap, another race win to end the season, and then for Stygian to finish no higher than P5 next race. And then it also depends on whether Stygian gets a penalty in this race. Of course, yeah, frankly, even if he does, I mean, P8's the lowest he can get. So even still, he's Grunty is going to catch up by at least 23 points in the championship from this weekend, unless Grunty gets a penalty.
I believe it'll be 22.
22 for this race, 23 because of the sprint race
yeah,
win
duh,
and Stygian
sorry.
getting P2.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. No, it's all good. You got the math right. I was just
I'm
including
not-
the sprint.
I keep forgetting sprints exist, if I'm honest. I'm not used to them. We've had them all season. We've had them the whole game pretty much. I'm still not used to them.
We had them in last year's game too, just not built into the game.
Did they? Oh, I suppose they were in F2,
Well,
but not F1. Were they part of? They weren't part of the last game, were they?
not like I said, not built into the game, but they were. Like some leagues I was in that we did sprint races. We'd do like a 25% race, or others
Okay.
you would do a
With you
flat,
now.
a 5-lap
Yep.
race.
With you now.
It depended on your league, frankly.
So you did sprint races, just not with the official sprint function.
Yeah.
Got it.
Get down.
Well, we'd assume safety car is going to come in this lap. Everyone's here.
And if that's the case, your safety car restart order is going to be... It's going to be technically Grunty, Shane, Crazy Fish, Macy Q, Zilbrad, Poea, Corky Turtle, and then Stygian, who will be taking his drive-through. Shh.
Is it a time penalty or a disqualification you get if you don't take the drive-through?
It's a disqualification, I'm pretty sure.
Right, that's what I thought. I thought if he doesn't
Yeah,
take the
so
drive-through,
he's-
does he
if
not
he
like a
gets a-
30-second penalty or something? Or
No, I haven't seen anyone not take a drive-through in this game. I know last year's game it was an automatic DSQ. So if that stays the same case in this game, then instead of getting 4 points, he would actually get no points, and then that would be absolutely catastrophic for Stygian, because then he would have to at least get be down instead of, I should say, his championship would go from 15 to 11 points, and then you'd have to hope that he didn't get outscored by more than 15. No, more than 12. If it was 11, then it would come down to who's won the most races.
oh, here we go.
Safety car is in this lap.
And Stygian
But
jams
the
Gankers on really. Backs them right up.
Yeah.
I get the feeling
Dan,
Stygian
it's
is
yeah,
gonna
okay, it's a
hold
drive-through.
them
They
up.
already told him.
Yeah, I get the feeling Stygian's going to hold them up as much as he can until the pit line.
Yeah, because he wants to make sure that these guys can get a run on Grunty, or at least have a chance at a run on him. He's going about 2% on the throttle here.
Can he pit now, or does he have to go around once?
Yeah, he can do it now, actually.
Is he gonna do? He's not.
He's not going to take the drive-through here. He's going to go. And at the last second, Stygian does the opposite of catch Grunty out. Grunty, although, catches out the entire field by about a mile.
Oh,
At
Macy
least.
Q. Just
Macy
do
Q
tap
just
the
having
exit of
awful
turn 1 wall.
restart. Yep.
There wasn't a lot of
That
space
little
left
tap's
about
all it took,
Poea,
and he
but
went
that's
from
not for me to
P4 to P8.
argue about.
Yeah, well, Stygian's not pulling away from Grunty at all. He might get passed on track here by Grunty.
Just the case of the tire difference.
Although Shane is starting to catch back up now that Grunty's caught up to the back of Stygian.
Interesting line there from Crazy Fish.
I think he's just trying to find something to get past the Ferrari of Shane. Shane looking to get his first podium of the season here tonight. Zilbrad looking to get his first podium of the season here. Oh, Zilbrad almost into the back of Crazy Fish, about a millimeter separating the two.
Ooh, bit of a back end snap there
And
from...
Crazy Fish has spun around. And that might be his race over there.
And in comes
And
out.
no, it doesn't.
Stays Stygian.
No. Stygian's got to take it this lap or he's going to be, might be disqualified here. Stygian's got to think about the championship here. I mean, if he hits now, worst case scenario, he finishes P8.
4 points. Better than no points, eh?
Certainly are, especially in Stygian's case. It's the difference between a 15 and 11 point lead in the championship heading into the final race. Not many people have done a lot of practice or much racing at all at Miami outside of career mode in this game so far up to this point, so you don't want to risk just staying out and getting disqualified here and then having an absolute shocker of a race, because the one race Grunty missed, Stygian crashed out. I was back at Abu Dhabi. Got to think about that. Plus, with DRS, I'm pretty sure was enabled this lap. Find out heading to the pit straight whether it was or not for sure. No, I believe it'll be activated the beginning of next lap. That being the case, Stygian might, I mean, he's going to have no choice. Either he's going to pit here or he's going to be disqualified. Right on the gearbox of the
He's not
Flying
going.
Dutchman. Stygian
He's not going.
Still not pitting. I don't believe it. DRS has been enabled. He has not been disqualified. I'm not quite sure what is going on here. He's got a drive-through, though, and oh, what happened there?
He got really close to
Fish
shoving
put-
Grunty into a wall there, if I'm honest.
Best lap. Yeah. Stygian's got to serve the drive-through before the end of this race, I'm guessing, then. I know last year's game was very adamant about serving the safe drive-through either on the lap the safety car comes in or the lap after. This year's game clearly a lot more lenient with that rule. I mean, this is his third lap and he hasn't pit yet. He should have been disqualified coming across the line.
Oh, Zilbrad and
Got a yellow for Poea.
has gone into the
She's in
castle.
the wall. That could help Stygian get P7.
Well, the moment of truth as we begin the final lap. Is Stygian coming in? I assume he's going to have to. I think he's left it as late as he possibly can to try and make sure someone can get past Grunty, but it's not worked.
Stygian coming in now because he has to.
Releases
So
Grunty
Grunty's
into the
going to
race
take
lead.
the lead. And this is the final lap of the race now. Poe is going to come into the pit, so Stygian's actually going to get P7. This could be huge for the Flying Dutchman here tonight. And I don't think Shane's going to catch him, but I don't think Shane's going to care. I mean, P2 is without a doubt the best finish he's going to have all season.
Unless it gets P1 next
Zilbrad,
week.
P3.
Just outside the DRS, he's trying his best to get into it.
Certainly is, but he doesn't have the ERS to catch up to him. Frankly, no one does in the top four.
or not the best of runs at that corner there. Whatever number that is.
No. Lost about 0.4 of a second there. And Zilbrad could fight for P2 here. He's right behind the Ferrari.
Depends who's got more battery. Silbrad was using a little bit there. It's 27 for
Going through the final
Silbrad,
corner,
25
and
for
Grunty
Shane.
has lost quite a bit of time coming to the line. Shane's going to get DRS here, so he might be able to hold on to P2. Coming to the line, Grunty is going to win the race here at Baku. Crossing the line, Shane P2, P3 for Zilbrad. First podium for both of these two in this season. Macy Q P4, P5 for Crazy Fish, Quirky Turtle, followed by Stygian and Poea P8.
I don't know what happened with Grunty there, but Shane getting the DRS as a result of it, that saved his P2 there. I think Zilbrad would have gotten P3.
Certainly.
Sorry, would have gotten P2
In fact,
from him.
Grunty might have backed off so Shane could keep his P2. I'm not going to say he did that for sure, but he definitely might have. Shane, before tonight, only had 32 points with that P2. That puts him up to 50. Shane, driver of the day. I cannot argue with that. He had a very good race tonight. Stygian getting P7, which will put him up to 241 points on the season. Grunty with P1 and fastest lap. Actually, hold on. P7, 241. Actually, he had 7 points in the sprint race, so that'll be 248 for Stygian, and Grunty will take P1 in both the sprint and the feature races tonight. Closing in on that gap, bringing it all the way down to 17 points. 17-point gap between the two. Which means if Grunty wins with fastest lap, Stygian has to finish at least P6, I believe, next race to keep hold of the championship. Your top three scores points-wise are Grunty, Shane, and Crazy Fish, but your driver with P3 is Zilbrad.
I think he actually needs P5.
And these are
Hypothetically,
your top
if Grunty gets
finishers in this race.
If Grunty gets the win with the fastest lap, that'll put him 9 points clear. 6th place only gets 8.
As we invite our podium finishers for tonight's race here at Baku. All right, we'll start with you, Zilbrad. First podium of the season for you tonight. How are you feeling, man? Hey, man, great race. Definitely deserve it tonight. So with this being your first podium, how do you feel heading into the final race at Miami? Well, good luck to you on that, and I do wish you the best of luck. 2-hour finisher of P2. Once again, another driver who I believe has had his first podium this season. The Ferrari of RSF1, Shane. Shane, how are you feeling after P2 tonight, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, that race was full of ups and downs. I didn't see myself taking P2. at any point until after the safety car. When I put the softs on, I managed to, at the second to last safety car, make some good ground up, and then when the last one come out, I knew when I went in, I was coming out in third, but obviously Stygian unfortunately got the drive through, so I knew second was on the cards. But Zeelbrad, Powali, Fish were very quick behind me, and obviously Stygian was. I don't blame him for what he did. He was slowing the pack down, trying to hope something would happen that helped him win the championship, which you can't fault him for. You know, he knew he wasn't going to win it today unless he did something like that. He did. I think there was potentially an incident with Grunt that may have been a bit questionable, but he did nothing wrong by slowing the pack down and doing what he did. Obviously, it's his right as the leader, isn't it? But yeah, he definitely made it scary and interesting for those 3 laps after the safety car. I just didn't want to attack Grunt. I didn't want to get involved in the championship fight. So I didn't want to attack Grunt and Stygian and potentially take one of them out and affect the championship. So that's why I was sort of trying to stay back but not get overtaken at the same time.
Well, fair enough to you, Shane. A phenomenal race from you tonight. How do you feel heading into the next race in the streets of Miami?
I have no idea. I turned up for this late race with 0 practice and somehow managed to get P2, so who knows?
Okay, well, best of luck to you next week.
Cheers,
and
mate.
Thank you for interviewing. And to our championship protagonist, once again winning the race, this time with fastest lap, and you close the championship down to only 17 points now. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, good, mate, to be fair. I don't think I actually got fastest lap. I think Fish got it. So that's fine. It's not a problem. But I always tend to do, like I said last week, I always tend to do well on sprint and races. I don't know if this is true, but I may be correct that I think I've won every sprint race this season.
He's the GOAT.
I have Callum next to me as well, Cornish. Because I'm at Cornish's house right now, as we all know. But yeah, I think I've also always had a good track record at sprint races, and today was just a prime example. I mean, it was always so close. It was going to be so close. I did take it to the last race, and I have. I'm doing everything I can, possibly, with obviously help from a lot of friends, which is very, very helpful, and I will never not appreciate them for everything they do. But no, it's it's fun. I've enjoyed this race. Nearly got the Grand Slam, but didn't quite obviously lead all the laps in the last race, and just missed out on the fastest lap. But it was really, really fun race. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, unlucky for Stygian to get that drive through, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, the game's a game. Got to play it. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Or if it's Stygian, hate the player. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it's fun.
All right. Well, you may have already answered my next question as to how you feel about next race.
Really, to be fair, I haven't done much of Miami, so it's going to be a lot of practice, a lot of nailing down the setup and learning the track and whatnot. Obviously, I've done it on career mode and things like that, but hopefully I should be able to do well. I mean, if I win, Stygian needs to get, I think it's 5th or 6th with fastest lap, and that's to tie it. I believe
6th next race.
The least 6th.
That's if you win with fastest lap.
Okay, does that tie it, or does that me win it?
If you win with fastest lap, he gets P6. That you win by a single point.
Okay. If he gets
you
5th,
win, he gets P6 without fastest lap. You guys tie, and then it would go to who has the most wins.
Which will be me. Because I have a committee member and a committee member in the party, one next to me. Are we counting sprint races as wins as well as normal races? No, I've been told. So
No, I
it'll be
believe
down
you
to
did
normal
qualify.
wins. So I believe I've got it anyway.
I don't
I've got
think
it.
so.
I've got that because obviously I won the first 3 or 4 races. So, and obviously 2 more recently. So I think I've won 5 races in total, and I don't think Stygian's won that many. I think he's won maybe 2 or 3. Obviously the standards man could probably tell me later, but yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, congratulations, Grunty. Best of luck to you next week in taking the championship back for the final round in the streets of Miami. And thank you for the interview. That'll do it from me, folks. I have been your host, Days Freak, alongside my co-commentator And one last thing I want to say, congratulations to Division 2's Williams team as they have secured the Constructors' Championship tonight. A good job from both Stygian and Jangus Logan all throughout the season. But that'll do it from me. Goodbye and good night.